Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I am your host, Tanya, and tonight we are going to tackle some of the things that the Democrats didn't get right on last year and really the last 4 years. Okay, like I promised. I told you I was going to tackle the Democrat side on Thursday, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. But first, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's had a great week so far. Tomorrow is Friday, and then it's the weekend, and also February. I mean, this month went just like that. I'm trying to tell you, this year I feel like it's going to fly. It is going to just be out of here. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's doing well. And so I just wanted to kind of tackle some of the things that the Democrats didn't get right last year. And I felt like this is really what cost them the election. Okay. The first thing was inflation and the economy. All right. So let's talk about the economy. Now, of course, there was a lot of factors that took place. A different presidency. We had the pandemic under Trump. And I'm not saying that they inherited that. But what I will say is that did cause a lot of things to go haywire so that when they took office, they had a lot of stuff that they had to clear up. Kind of like Obama. It was the same thing with the housing crisis. Bush left, Obama took over, and he was going through the housing crisis. He had to deal with the automobile industry, almost went, bankrupt back then. And so it just seems to me that every time a Democrat gets in, it's always after a pandemic or a bad economy or something traumatic happened where they have to go in and clean it up. So, and that's just how I see it. I mean, like I said, Obama did the same thing when Bush left. He came in and what happened? Housing market, homes went foreclosure, the housing bubble. There was so many homes for sale. It was ridiculous because banks back then were just lending out loans to anybody who was breathing pretty much. And so it hurt people because, the market went up. Some people lost their jobs and then they couldn't afford to stay in those homes. So, but after 8 years of being in office, he cleared it up. And guess who took over? Donald Trump. So Donald Trump inherited a good economy, which is fair, okay? But to be fair, he did make it go even higher, okay, until the pandemic happened. And then when the pandemic happened, everything went to a screeching halt. Everything went pretty much downhill. The stock market tanked. Jobs just was, laying off people. People couldn't go nowhere. Businesses had to shut down. Supply and demand, the inventory of things were not getting shipped to places. So a lot of chain reaction happened with the pandemic. So we can't pretend like everything was peaches and cream when, Biden and Harris took over. But fast forward, 2020, 2021, boom, they come into office. But again, this is after a major pandemic. And then they left, well, when they took office, inflation wasn't as bad, but I feel like, this is just my honest opinion, they had a lot of stuff they had to deal with. I mean, to be fair. We just can't pretend like that didn't play a major factor because it really, really did. I tell people whenever a president takes over, it takes, I would say, a good year or two before things start really shifting into the new administration. So you didn't really start seeing things get a little bit better until like 2023. And then by the time 2024 comes, now it's time for another election. Now it's time for a new president. Okay. So now, guess what? They were in office those 4 years. But inflation was at an all-time high. And another thing that kind of hurt them was the border. Okay. Too lax on the border. They wasn't regulating the illegal people that was coming over in record numbers. Now, people say, well, aren't you for people? I say, yeah, I'm definitely for people, but they got to come in the right way. They got to come in legally, and they got to do it through our laws. It's no different from me trying to go to another country and I just come in thinking that I'm okay. I can't do that. I can't go anywhere in the world and just come in and just decide to just start my life there without going through the proper channels. So I think that's where it really got bad for them. They just did not do what they were supposed to do. A lot of people are blaming Kamala because they say she was the border czar. Let me say this about Kamala Harris, okay? Because I'm gonna look at it from two different angles. Because everybody say, you're going to talk about her? Absolutely. I am going to talk about everybody, okay? There is no favoritism here on this channel, all right? Kamala Harris, to be fair, and I'm just putting myself in her position, okay? Just knowing what she has to deal with on a daily basis, and I'm not trying to take up for her, but being a minority woman in a predominantly, let's just say you're outnumbered, it's hard to get things done. Now, I'm not saying she couldn't have went to the border, and she actually did go to the border. She waited a little too late to go to the border, but I think she still should have done what she was supposed to do, and that was to make sure that, that stuff was intact, Now, do I fault her for the economy and things like that? I'll put it like this, because that's still somebody that I feel like was kind of forced into running for president. I feel like Kamala Harris is not doing no more than the other past vice presidents. And that's just my take on it. I don't think she's doing no more than everybody else. Okay. Back in the day with Cheney, I don't remember him doing anything. I don't remember Al Gore with Clinton doing anything. Honestly, I don't even remember, what was that other guy that was with the first Bush? I know it was Cheney, Al Gore, Dan Quayle, all them. I don't remember any of the vice presidents doing above and beyond stuff. It's only when she stepped into the scene that this list is this long, and she's got to do this and this and this and this and this. And if not, guess what? She's not qualified all of a sudden, right? So to be fair, I feel like she's doing what the other vice presidents have done. Oh, and Mike Pence, I forgot about him. Sorry. It's no shade to Mike Pence, but I don't see what he did that was, he was just doing all this stuff that, So, no, I feel like she's doing no more than everybody else. All right. Now, was there some things I didn't agree with? Absolutely. Like abortion. Let's talk about it. For me personally, I don't believe in abortion. Okay. I don't believe in no circumstance should it be done. Even when it's life and death, even when it's rape or anything like that. I feel like the baby still has the right to live no matter what. God is the only one that is in control of life and death. And if you can't take care of the baby, then give the baby up for adoption and let someone else raise the baby. That's always been my stance, even when I was a Democrat. Okay, I was a firm believer. I don't believe in that. I just, to each his own. I don't, I don't look down on people that has done that. But for me, I'm sorry. That ain't what I don't believe in that. So, and people say, well, didn't you vote for her? I said, yeah, I voted for her. But I tell people you can have your own individual belief and not feel like just because she's for it, that doesn't mean I'm for it. I don't agree with that concept. Okay. That's, it's no different from Trump. There's people that voted for Trump that was specifically for just the economy, and that's it. There was people that voted for Trump because he was a white man and they didn't want to see a minority woman to run the country. And that was it. That was their only, they could care less about everything else. So I don't believe that because you sign off or you vote for a candidate that you're standing for every single thing that they stand for. There's only maybe one or two things you like, and the other stuff you don't deal with. That's their personal thing. And the way I look at it, God knows the intent. He knows why you voted the way you did. So that's just how it is. I also voted for her because I felt like she was a better person as far as bringing the country together. Whereas Trump, I just don't see it. So there was other things. My student loan forgiveness, which I talked to you about on that. Same thing, So there might be things you don't like about a candidate, and there might be some things you do agree with on the candidate. But that doesn't mean that God doesn't look at everybody on an individual basis, My motto is you pray about your decision of whoever you want to vote for. And if it's some stuff that you don't feel your conviction is telling you not to vote, you pray and ask God to touch them in that area. Ask them to let God, help them change in that area. And he can touch anybody. That's my thing, my prayer was, God, I don't believe in abortion, but I pray that you will help Kamala see that, she needs to change in that area, and that's how I look at it. So, and that is what it is. So, and so now let's talk about Joe Biden for a second. Okay. Joe Biden is not squeaky clean either. All right. Joe Biden has said some racial or racist things in the past as well. All right. I think he was on one show and he said something about, if you're not going to vote for me, then you're not black. Really? Oh. Oh, so now I'm not black, In fact, let's listen to some of the things that Joe Biden has said over the years, and then we're going to break it down. All right? Because, like I said, nobody is perfect.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. So, I'm not joking. Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains. Look, we need to reform the criminal justice to make sure.
Did he say they going to put us back in chains? What? Let's just keep listening.
Black mothers feel confident when they send their son out on the street that he's going to be safe. We got to recognize that kid wearing a hoodie may very well be the next poet laureate and not a gangbanger.
Wait a minute. Oh, so we're all wearing hoodies and gangbangers. Nothing get past me, okay? Nothing gets past me. I call it out like I see it. I don't care who you are, okay? Now, like I said, he done made all these racist comments. Don't think I'm not paying attention and other black people is not paying attention. Oh, we see it. We see it and we're going to call it out one by one.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids, wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. And if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Really? Look, like I said, he's got some racial tendencies. Okay. I know he does. All right. And I don't want people to think that I'm biased. I'm not biased at all. I call it, I don't care who you are, black, white, Republican, Democrat, independent, don't make me no difference. If I see it with my own eyes and I heard it with my own ears, I'm calling it out. And that's just how that goes. I don't hate Biden. Do I think he's a better person as far as bringing the country together? Absolutely. Do I feel like his mental capacity is not the same? Of course. That's why the sudden change in the candidacy took place, because we saw it. I mean, we saw his decline. We saw his mental and, cognitive and all that just went down. But he's 82, 83 years old. So you're not going to be as sharp. Well, I ain't going to say that because there's some people that's still in their 80s that are doing really well still. But it is to be expected. He's not going to be the same as he was 65 or 55. So, and, I totally understand that. But I think what took the cake for me with Biden, and this was last year, when he put on Trump's hat. Oh yeah, I definitely saw that. And
students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension. But no.
I'm going to tell you why this was a problem in just a second.
I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it. You going to autograph it? Oh, sure, I'll autograph it. There you go, man. I need that hat. You want my autograph? Hell no. You know my name. Come on. I ain't going that far. Yeah. Let's do a selfie. There you go.
All right, now let's break this down. First of all, the timing of this was horrible. Okay? This is at the time where Kamala Harris was campaigning. All right. Now, how does it look for somebody that endorsed you to put on your opponent's hat in regards to being bipartisan? Okay. Now, listen, it would be different if Trump had Biden's hat and Biden had Trump's hat and they switched off and they both did it. No, that's not what happened. Okay. In fact, Trump wouldn't even be caught dead with Biden's hat on his head, And so Biden, I feel like, because a lot of people say that he had a little animosity because he was pushed out of the race. That's very possible. Especially when you see things like this. Not to mention Jill Biden, when she was voting, oh yeah, she was wearing red during election day, and I don't know if they were voting for Trump on the slide. That's what people is speculating, because they said Jill Biden and Kamala didn't get along either. Now, hey, I don't know. I just know that's very strange for you to put on your opponent's hat. And then during election day, your wife was walking out in red. Like, don't think we ain't seeing this, because we are. Okay, I want you to know I got my eyes wide open and I see it all. Okay, I see it all. Now, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Because Hillary wasn't, she was not innocent either. Let's listen to one of the jokes from back in the day so we can break her down too.
Is facing backlash today because of an off-color joke made by New York City's mayor. Clinton and Bill de Blasio were performing a skit at a political dinner alongside Leslie Odom Jr. from the Broadway musical Hamilton.
The mayor made a joke based on an African-American stereotype, but it fell flat. The New York Daily News has dubbed it skit for brains. Here's what they said.
I just have to say, thanks for the endorsement, Bill. Took you long enough.
Sorry, Hillary. I was running on CP time.
It's not. I don't like jokes like that, Bill. It's not.
Cautious politician time. I've been there.
All right, let's just stop right there. Now, she says CP time, which means colored people time.
Now taxes is getting the TurboTax app.
Now, you
And
notice
file your taxes yourself.
that they changed it really quickly to cautious politician. Oh, okay. See, I wonder if that black man wasn't on stage where they had to try to clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it. Like I said, we're going to shine the light. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we see it. We see it, you know. Now, let's talk about Kamala and her pandering. Okay. And this is probably the last thing we'll tackle for tonight. Because, you know, we all know the personality of people. And I just felt like the only thing I didn't like about Kamala was she would change her personality based on her audience. I say be who you are no matter what. Don't change and jump ship because you're in front of this audience and now you, oh, hey, girl, oh, I'm all out in these streets. In these streets? You ain't in those streets. You know, I think she was talking to Taraji during a BET special. And it was just cringeworthy. I was just like, what? She don't even talk like that. Like, let's just listen to that skit, okay? And that way you can see for yourself.
And I guess the White House liked it so much, they decided to use it in an ad.
So what's on your mind? Oh, Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election. Women's reproductive rights are on the line. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
No, they... All right, let me just stop right there. Okay, so I understand where she's coming from, and I get it. But come on, Kamala, you ain't in those streets now. Come on now. I mean, if she is in the streets, I ain't seen her in those streets. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was kind of, you know, come on. I mean, just what I'm saying is just be who you are. If you don't normally talk like that, and that's just not who you are, just don't even fake it. Just be who you are. You know, that's all I'm saying. All right. So, yes, I call it out. I call it out one by one. All right. So, and, you know, the list goes on. Like I said, they all have something that they, you know, deal with. And, you know, her accent would change here and there depending on who's in front of her. And you can tell that's just not how she talks normally. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in an environment like a barbecue or, you know, you're at a cookout or something like that where it's relaxed. But even then, being the vice president of the United States, you still have to carry yourself at a certain decorum. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that right there, I felt like was a little too much on that side of it. Okay. But other than that, you know, she did what she could do. She was forced to go ahead and run. I don't even think she really wanted it. I think she was forced to because they didn't have no choice. There was nobody else that really, you know, wanted to step up. Nobody volunteered that I know of. Nobody raised their hand and said, hey, I want to run. You know, I mean, we know we have a preliminary or primary to, you know, vote on the candidates, but it was short notice. She only had a few weeks to get it together. And, you know, it is what it is. Okay. So, and let me say this about, you know, her being voted, because they keep saying, oh, well, you know, no one voted her to be the presidential nominee. But no one voted for Elon Musk either. Let's see. And some of the cabinet members that Trump is picking out right now. You know what I'm saying? They have no experience. When I say none, zero. At least with Kamala, I can say, okay, let's do this. Let's look at J.D. Vance's resume. And let's look at Kamala Harris's resume. All right, let's see. Kamala, she was a governor. She was attorney general for California. She became vice president. And then she wants to run for president. Okay. And she's 61, 62 years old. Okay. J.D. Vance. He's 39-ish, right at 40. He served the military. And that's pretty much it. So, I mean, and don't get me wrong, that's a good thing that he served the military. But the experience, and he's already vice president, and he just probably right at 40. You see the difference? Do you see why there's always that, why people are saying we got to work twice as hard and twice as long to get to where we are? And it's the truth. It's the truth. You can see it between the two vice presidents. This guy, he's wet behind the ears. You know, I mean, I'm older than he is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that age matters, but experience and wisdom does matter any day of the week. I'm sorry. If something was to happen to Trump, I don't think Vance would have enough wherewithal to run this country. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, that's all I'm going to say. So, anyway, guys, I just wanted to kind of tackle the Democrat side. I don't want you to think that I don't see what's going on their side, too. You know, the borders, that was another thing. They had to crack the borders, man. It was just way out of control. And now, you know, Trump is trying to get that straight. So, okay. We'll see how this goes and give it a few months and kind of go from there. But anyway, I just wanted to say again, thanks for all the comments and everybody just tuning into my channel. If you enjoyed this content, please hit like, share, and subscribe to keep further updated on more topics, okay? We're going to talk about on Monday at 8 o'clock some policies that he's still continuing to push with the DEI. And, you know, just some things that's coming up for the Super Bowl. Because, you know, this is a sports channel as well. And the Super Bowl will be on February 9th. So we're going to start talking about some sports things as well. Okay? All right, guys. Well, if everybody's had a great, let me just say it like this. Everybody have a great rest of the week. And I will see everyone on Monday at 8 o'clock. All right, guys. And also hit the notification bell. That way you can keep informed and be alerted every time I go live. All right. All right. Well, everybody have a good night. And I will see you on Monday at 8 o'clock. Bye-bye.